You should start calling your own age group by name.
Hello, welcome. It's time for the book launch. We'll be talking about The Land of Mourns, written by uh, three little kids. One is Pahael, Lakshita, and Mahashree. And today will be this program will be moderated by Dr. Gargi Saha. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Prasanna sir. Good evening, everyone present here. It gives me immense pleasure to be a part of this program, especially launching The Land of Mourns, written by three young writers, Pahael, Lakshita, and Mahashree. I would like to thank Dr. Roopali ma'am and Prasanna Kumar sir and the entire team of Fertile Brains for giving me this honor and recognition of a moderator. Today's book, The Land of Mourns, will be launched and discussed by the authors Roopali ma'am, Sneha ma'am, Prasanna sir, Ms. Garima Gupta ma'am, Diya Sarawgi, and I too will add my views and opinions about the book. Now, a brief introduction of all the luminaries present here. First of all, the authors. Ms. Pahael Goel is an avid reader who grew up listening to bedtime stories. She's studying in 7th class and attributes her success to her mother. She is the co-author of the books The Bag of Diversity and Frozen Frames. Her love for literature, history, and animals gives her inspiration to write. She bagged the Dean Chakki Youngest Author Award 2022 for a contribution to literature. Next, we have Ms. Lakshita Mundra. She's staying in Guwahati. She's also 7th grader and a fan of Harry Potter stories and movies. Her hobbies include reading, writing, and drawing. Her poem got published in the children's anthology Kaleidoscope. She has a special interest towards literature and it is her dream to become an author. Last but not the least, Ms. Mahashree is staying in Guwahati, studying in 7th class, and her favorite subject is English. She has a keen interest in robots and computers. She thought of trying her hands at writing to give an outlet to her emotions and found it as relaxing as dancing. First of all, I would like to congratulate all the three young authors and the editor of this book, Ms. Sneha Goel, whose inspiration and workshops have helped the authors to pen a brilliant novel, a remarkable achievement at a very young age, showcasing the literary talents of three young wordsmiths. With its gripping storyline, relatable characters, and boundless creativity, this book is a work they can be surely proud of. Birthday is the most adorable day for anyone in the world's in this world. But in this novel, Blair, the protagonist yells at her daddy saying, "You ruined my birthday, Dad. Everything is ruined. It's the worst birthday ever." It sets the tone of the novel and leads the reader to a world of amazement and awe. Today we have 5 guests of honor: Mr. Prasanna Kumar, Ms. Garima Gupta, Dr. Roopali Sircar Gaur, Diya Sarawgi, and Ms. Sneha Goel. Prasanna Kumar is making a significant contribution to the world of literature, especially poetry. He holds a master's degree in commerce and is a social worker by choice. Ms. Garima Gupta is a psychologist educated in USA and India. She is a happiness coach and founder of the Happiness Institute, Pune 2020. She is also the chairperson for the All India League Pune Parenting Chapter. Dr. Roopali Sircar Gaur, former professor, Delhi University, a poet, author, travel writer, editor, and social justice activist, founder, president of Yuvati. Her book, The Twice Colonized Women in African Literature, is a seminal book on women's issues. She has edited a significant anthology entitled In All the Spheres, Diverse Voices in Global Women's Poetry. Ms. Diya Sarawgi is studying in class 7th, a young panelist today. She loves to read, write, and do public speaking. Her favorite subject is English, and cooking is her passion. She has read Harry Potter stories infinite times and has written the story, The Mysterious Tunnel, under the guidance of Sneha Ma'am. Ms. Sneha Goel is a poet by heart, a writer by passion, and a teacher who teaches English grammar and creative writing to young children and grown-ups. She has published a poetry collection, Where Women Stands. I think now we can do the launching of the book.
Congratulations.
Okay.
So we formally launched this wonderful book today, this evening. Children, congratulations. It's a remarkable book.
Yes, ma'am. You're right.
And a great achievement. It's a great achievement.
Now I request Lakshita to speak about the book. Is she present today? Lakshita, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please go ahead and share your experiences about the book. How did you get the inspiration to write the book and how you went through it? Please narrate your experiences.
Ma'am, the inspiration to write about the book was that we had done so many writing classes together and we had so many ideas from those classes. We just had to put them all together and decide upon one idea. And so, like, what do I say? Like,
anything else you want to share about your book? Anything? Please go ahead.
we just used to meet every day and then we just decided that why not write a book? Like, why not start writing a story by connecting all our ideas?
Okay, fine. Okay. Anything else you would like to add or should I move ahead? Or I'll come to you later on. Fine. Okay. Next, I would like to call Pahael. Please share your experiences about the book.
Greetings to everyone present here today. I'm going to tell you how about how me, Lakshita, and Mahashree planned and wrote the chapters of the novella Land of Mourns. We would meet every day for 2 hours, plotting our next chapter. We took turns writing them so we could combine all of our ideas together. After plotting, we would go home and write what we discussed, and it would take us 3 to 4 hours. Sometimes, when we couldn't come up with any ideas, we'd wait for our next meetup and write the chapter together. Later, we'd point out any mistakes or changes we wanted to make. As all of us are Potterheads, we were inspired to write a fantasy fiction story. We also asked others for advice and ideas. The action scenes in the concluding chapters were some of our favorites to write. We tried to add as many elements as we could to keep the reader hooked. The chapters have many funny moments in between, but there are some emotional scenes too. After finishing writing all the 15 chapters, we were filled with delight to have the finished book. After we held the physical book in our hand, it was all worth it. Thank you.
Okay, you're most welcome. Next, I would like to call Miss Mahashree to share her views about the book.
Greetings to beloved
Yes, please go ahead.
guests and friends. Thank you for all being here today. Today, I want to share a journey with you all that had been both challenging and rewarding. A journey that began with a simple idea and led to the creation of a novella titled The Land of Mourns. Today, I want to take you through the incredible experience my co-authors Lakshita and Pahael and I embarked upon while writing this novella, and also the difficulties we faced to bring our thoughts into life. Our journey began with brainstorming sessions where ideas flowed freely and the world of the Land of Mourns started to take shape. Each of us brought unique perspectives to the table, contributing to the depth of our story. However, as any collaborative project goes, it wasn't always smooth sailing. One of the first challenges we faced was finding a cohesive voice for the narrative. Each of us had our own writing style, so we had to mix and balance to form a coordinated voice which summed up to a delicate balancing act. We learned that we should compromise and mend our strengths into a collective force. Time management was another challenge that we faced as a team. As we were writing the novella during a sixth grade session break, we had to complete it.
I think you are muted. Mahashree, you're muted. You cannot be heard. There's an icon.
So
Please.
sorry, ma'am.
It's okay. Please go ahead.
One of the first challenges that we faced was finding a cohesive voice for the narrative. Each of us had our own writing style, so we had to mix and balance to form a coordinated voice which summed up in a act. We learned how we should compromise and mend our strengths into a collective force. Time management was another challenge that we faced as a team. As we were writing the novella during a sixth grade session break, we had to finish it before class 7 starts. It resulted in 2 3 long hectic hours every day without involving the writing part. Sometimes we had to write even at our homes after coming from Pahel's house, as we used to meet there to write the chapters. The plot unfolded like a tapestry with unexpected twists and turns that pushed our creative boundaries. Characters came to life, each with their own stories and struggles, mirroring our own journey as writers. As we dwelled deeper into the narrative, we encountered moments of self doubt and uncertainty. Was our story compelling enough? Would readers connect with our characters? The doubts were many, but we stood together, supporting and encouraging each other through the highs and lows. Editing became another hurdle, but our mentor, Miss Sneha Goel, helped us a lot with that part. Despite the challenges, the Land of Mourns stands before you today, a testament to the power of collaboration, determination, and the human spirit's capacity to create. This novella represents not just a story on paper, but the embodiment of our shared dreams and the strength of our friendship. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was wonderful listening to you, your spirit. I congratulate all the young authors for bringing out such a brilliant book. Okay, now I invite Sneha ma'am to speak a few words about the book and her journey to guide the students. Over to you, ma'am. Sneha ma'am, please share your views.
Yes. First, I would like to thank Prasanna for the Fertile Brains platform. It is a matter of honor for the Land of Mourns to even reach this literary platform, which has launched 2 books by experienced writers and scholars. Second, a big thank you to Garima ma'am for taking up the task of writing the foreword for the book right away when I approached her, and then promoting the book among her author friends, not to mention her being here today for the formal book launch of the Land of Mourns. My sincere gratitude to Roopali ma'am for hand holding me through the journey of reading the manuscript to writing a review and never failing to appreciate the effort of the young writer. I thank Gargi ma'am for taking up the difficult job of moderator for this event and and acknowledging the work of the girls as spellbounding. I can't appreciate the effort of Diya more for taking out time from her studies to read this novella and be here as a panelist. My blessings to Lakshita Mundra, Pahael Goel, and Mahashree because their hard work made it possible. I could only dream of seeing a novel taking shape because these girls are hardworking and obedient. And mind you, they are not obedient in the sense that they will write whatever I ask them to, but they follow the timetable and writing schedule set by me. This I see as my success as a teacher. We would not have functioned as a team for those 20 days had their mothers, Shruti Mundra and Mahashree Kiran, not supported and believed in what we were doing. That made the project precious for all of us. I was a mentor of these girls throughout the planning and writing journey, but I never interfered with their ideas. This is something that I was very, very clear from the beginning. The story is theirs, the hard work is theirs, and the Land of Mourns is theirs. Thank you.
Sneha ma'am, for a wonderful journey you have shared with us of how you came to guide them, and they are more inspiring and they are very excellent. I mean, the piece which they have brought forward, it's very young for them to come through such an experience. I now invite Diya Sarawgi to share her experience about the book. Please come forward, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone present here. Thank you, Sneha ma'am, for this opportunity. Dear authors, I would like to congratulate you all for writing such a wonderful book. It was truly captivating and gripped my attention from right the beginning. It was a book which transported me to a realm of magic, filled with engaging characters and thrilling plots. It was a perfect blend of magic and mystery. As I flipped through every chapter, I could see that every scene and character was perfectly described so that the reader could imagine every single detail. I especially loved the suspense in the book that was created in each chapter. It kept the reader wanting to read the next chapter eagerly. I also liked the ending very much. I would like to ask a question to one of the authors regarding a character which I found interesting. Did the character Blair portray most of the kids of today's time? Did you think that the character would be relatable to everyone?
There is a question for the authors. Any of the authors can answer the question.
I think Lakshita can answer.
Can you please repeat the question? Actually, there's Wi-Fi problem over here and your voice wasn't clear.
Sure. Did the character Blair portray most of the kids of today's time? Did you think that the character would be relatable to them and would help them to see?
Yes, our main character Blair, aka Valerie, we decided to make her quite troublesome in the beginning chapters. She might inspire many of the children of today's time because of that sudden change of heart that she goes through after some of the challenges that she faces.
Thank you so much for your perspective. I would like to ask another question. Why did you choose the name? What thought did you choose the name Maleficent for the witch? Because
The name, like, for Maleficent especially, we thought that we'd give her a very magnificent name as a, like, because she was the queen of the big land of Iska and all. So we decided of giving her a very unique name. And we had to search a lot for the names because there were a lot of options and we had to choose one that actually fit her personality too. So after searching for a lot of time, we finally ended up on Maleficent.
thank you. Like for the name Maleficent, in like other stories, the name Maleficent is portrayed as a bad witch or as a bad character. But in this book, it was portrayed as a good witch. So I liked that a lot. Well, I would have loved to read a book a little higher than what has been written, but I understand that the author wanted to reach the young minds and capture their imagination. It was overall an amazing experience reading the book. I look forward to reading more and more books from the authors. And thank you and all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your wonderful views and questions. Now I move ahead and I invite Garima ma'am to share her views about the book. Garima ma'am, over to you.
Hello, thank you, Gargi. Heartiest congratulations, Bachas. Your book is just wonderful. And it's unbelievable that you were sixth graders when you were writing this story. It is definitely far beyond that kind of an age and what we can expect from sixth graders who's just like 11 years old. They're pre-teens. And the Blair, I think what I really liked was that at such a young age, you knew that you had to give the characters and the a character arc. So I had the very good fortune of actually mentoring Pahael when she joined my storyteller to published author writing camp. And I saw the kind of energy that she has, but I haven't had a chance to interact with you, Lakshita or Mahashree. I've just heard you today for the first time. And I'm really super proud of all three of you. About Pehel, I can say, like in brief, that, what I noticed is that she thinks a lot and she will speak very little. So while the batch that she was in, it was especially very rowdy. They just wanted to talk. So it was a bunch of teens who are writers, so you would expect them to be introverted like Pehel, but like there were four of them who were extremely extroverted, so they would grab all the airtime, and Pehel would be very comfortable, quiet, and then I would say, okay, Pehel, I want your opinion, and then I would hear that she's really thought it through. She's got some beautiful ideas, so it was such a delight having her in that camp as well. And when Sneha sent me the whole book, I've said this before, but I will say it again. It was really impressive. So I've already mentioned the character arc. Also, the relatability. My gosh, as a young child, usually you don't have the view into an adult's mind. But these children definitely have very high emotional quotient because they are able to talk about emotions in a way that, even though it's a fantasy novel, right? And the people, like, I can speak for myself. I typically read non-fiction. I don't even read fiction, and I really don't read fantasy at all. But even for me, it was so fascinating to read the book because the people, whether they are human or not, but the feelings that they have, the ambitions that they have, and even the character flaws that they have. It's amazing that a child is able to talk about character flaws in a person in their novel. So for all of this, I really congratulate the children, and definitely Sneha would have played a grand role. In fact, I was always amazed that she chose to send Pehel to me, though she herself is a writing mentor, and I take it as a huge honor, Sneha, that you decided that it would be worthwhile that Pehel should join my writing camp. So, you mentioned self-doubt. Mahashree, I think when you were talking, and I think it's really beautiful that you brought that up. I'm an author as well. I've by now I've got like 6 books out, but the self doubt is so real as a writer. It's such a lonely task, to be writing, even if it's 3 of you. It is lonely, and it's scary to put your work out there for others to see. And definitely you will feel self doubt even when you're writing your 7th novel. So just make friends with your self doubt. Just, it's part of the course of being a creative professional, whichever art you are in, poetry or music, dance. You will always be filled with self doubt. Like, is it even worthwhile? Why would somebody bother reading it? Why is it a waste of their time? Am I saying something that's already been said? And so many more self doubts will come. So I think as mentors, Sneha and I and Roopali ma'am and Gargi ma'am, we have to continuously remind the kids that self-doubt is there, but don't mind it. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. It is definitely worthwhile. Don't take it too seriously and don't let it paralyze you. So yeah, that's my 2 cents, and absolutely fantastic book. And I really want others who are watching our program to definitely go ahead and buy Land of Mourns and read it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I totally agree with your views about the book. It's really incredible, such small children, kids writing, and the relatability of the characters. It's really unbelievable. One of the highlights of the book is the depth and relatability of its characters. The young writers have masterfully crafted a diverse cast, each endowed with their unique personalities, flaws, and desires. As readers, we find ourselves easily forming emotional connections, sharing with them their happiness and sorrows. And the book exhibits a limitless creativity. We are transported to a world of magic where anything is possible. Maleficent, who is stabbed to death by her own sister, comes back to life. And when she cannot save the land of Sircar, she turns into a lifeless book again. She says, I don't want to be born as a human. I mean, the power of thinking of the children, we cannot even imagine, it's really implausible. Over to you now. I would like to invite Roopali ma'am to share her views about the book. Roopali ma'am.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me on this wonderful platform. I'm totally overwhelmed, and I'm going to take off my specs so that you can see how emotionally charged I feel. I feel very overwhelmed to be in the company of children. Children inherit this world, they are the ones. I'm the oldest member today here, and we have some very young people. I've always been very interested in the process of writing. What is it that happens when we are writing? When somebody says it's an isolated work, you have 3 young people and a mentor who have done this. So I don't think they were isolated, but their thoughts, how did you do it? I mean, I can't believe it that 3 people, it's a lesson in peace and harmony. I'm going beyond the book. It's a lesson in peace and harmony. When I edit a book with Prasanna, who's sitting in Hyderabad, and I'm sitting here in Meerut, and we have never met, it's an act of peace and harmony. But that's just putting together other people. Here, you 3 young people have got together to think up a story. And, as Mahashree has explained, that how did you do it? How was the process? And why did you choose Western names? I'm very curious, Why is that 3 young Indian girls have written a book, their first book, with Western names? That is one thing you must think about. I'll leave it. You don't have to tell me why. I mean, it's there. The thought came to my mind. The other thing that, some 30 years ago, I wrote a novel which has not been published. I didn't have the courage to publish it. See, somebody was talking about putting, Garima was saying about putting your, book across. Now, mine is written from the narrator is a child. And here it is children who are narrating. My manuscript has a child narrating, but here are children, and 3 children. Were you, when you were writing, and then, your happy children, why would you write about a land of mourns? What is the mourning there? Why the sadness? There's something hanging in the air. And I've been a college teacher, so I understood the the teenager. I cannot, you're like my grandchildren. I mean, I have a grandchild who's 15. I don't understand him at all. He is way beyond. You are the inheritors of this world. You see no difference between gender. You make no difference between caste and religion. We are the ones who are stuck in time, prejudiced, biased. So I really must congratulate you three and Sneh. The word, your name is Sneh, and you have so much of Sneh in you, so much of love and kindness, that you could get three children to do this. I mean, that is marvelous. I wouldn't have been able to do it. I really wouldn't have been able to. And how did they think up the story together? And somebody talked about the voice, different voices. How did you make those three voices become one voice? The narration must have been tough. So it is not just a story, it's not just one individual writing this beautiful book, but three people and a number of characters who are popped up. You're writing about something, but somebody else is popping up somewhere. Some other character coming up. The whole process of writing is so beautiful. I am so privileged. I'm so honored to be here today among you young people, and not just young people, children. I run something called Mera Kitab Ghar, and I know how much children crave to read storybooks. And you have created a storybook for people, other children to read, for other children to read. And I'll tell you how Mera Kitab Ghar came about. You keep these kanchakes on Durga Ashtami, where you call children and feed them with aloo and puri, and they're filled with aloo and puri. They just don't want it. But they used to always look at my son's toys. They look at his books. And then I realized they don't need aloo puri. They don't need that. Their parents can feed them. They need books. They need stories. They need toys. And that's how Mera Kitab Ghar came about. And thank you so much, you three young people. And little Diya, commenting on it, telling us about it. What do I say? I really have nothing to say. I'm stunned. I'm really stunned. And I'm sure Prasanna, we are so honored. My book launch is blessed. It's really blessed. It's a blessing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Roopali ma'am. I totally agree with you. I'm totally stunned by the young talent of these three young children here present here. Over to you, Prasanna sir. Please express your views about the book.
How could I express, ma'am? It's a testament of camaraderie, I would say, between these young kids. It is, you cannot imagine to have the, what do you call, the common thinking or, unanimous, what do you say is. But, coming together, all three coming together and putting across there, this, the story building from story building to character, I could visualize the special effects, that even there is special effects also gone into the book and, those things. They have put entire silver screen in this book and in a short form. I mean, you could visualize, you could watch it on the 3D screens and all TVs, but you could just watch it and you could read it and you could visualize it. That's the capacity of this book. But imagine that came from, very, very young kids, which I think probably I never have imagined when I was in their age. I mean, this kudos to you, Sneha. I mean, it's like Pahael, Lakshita, and Mahashree. It's such a blessing, that I could read your book and I could, pick some points and Diya has mentioned some, kind of some questions that's all running in my mind, and Roopali ma'am also with respect to the character names and all, and that the title of the thing. But I really appreciate how you build the story up and putting this remarkable, and I'm speechless about that. We could appreciate the books written by elders, because they get this experience of you watching in the live and all. They this thing. But being young kids, how could you just imagine that's in just no? So I really, I mean, I have no words. It's such an honor for me to be, talking about this. It's like I just got a chance to, which I never. I had this young, this really, I mean, this, what do you call this? The credit goes to the young viewers of, young story viewers of Sneha Goel ma'am, who, pushed them and they inspired these kids to come up. They could also write, and they could have the spark of, writing and highlighting those characters or stories or whatever it is. And I put it in the form of a book, and that could be, reached to the readers so that they could be delighted and they could be, going to the imagery of this, the lands, whatever it is, Neverland or whatever it is, the Land of Mourns that is called, yes. So beautiful, so beautiful. I wish to appreciate each and every contributor or writer, Pahael, Lakshita, Mahashree, and expecting more from you so that, I could inspire for us. It's an inspiration for us, in fact. And Diya, you're totally awesome with your. I mean, like, yeah, how could you give this such a review? And you could put your question. Giving and putting a question is very difficult. Yeah, so I appreciate. And
Thank you so
Garima
much.
ma'am, yeah, thank you for mentoring these kids also with your experience and all. So beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Prasanna sir. We should all applaud Sneha ma'am for inspiring the children in a wonderful way and bringing out such a brilliant book. Let's give her an applause, everyone, Sneha ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
May I ask Sneha a question? Sneha, you could have got
Serves as a proof of the author's
something going on.
potential to captivate
Yeah, I
audiences.
wanted to know, Sneha. Sneha, I
Yes,
wanted to know something. One is
yes,
that
ma'am.
you could have asked these three children to write three novels, all right? Each one of them, it would be much easier. It would be much easier. How is it that you thought that all three of them must get together to write one story?
Ma'am, it's not easier even if they would have written as one, because I know I have to supervise that one person and I have to look after whatever they have the negative traits, because they all have their own set of tantrums, this all three of them. But when they three are together, I know they will have to work as a team. So one thing they should learn was, there is no other way to get something, get their work done, or to see something actually as a hard copy in their hand, other than hard work, teamwork, and perseverance. So this is what I wanted them to learn. So that is why I came up with these three girls, because I have watched them closely in my class. They did English tuitions, maths tuitions, and science tuitions. So these three girls particularly, why? Because I've seen them whenever I give them work, they will do it in time, regardless they had as many homework. They were always there with their work on time. And one thing is that I see that they are obedient, not in the sense that they will write whatever I will say, but whatever they wanted to write, they will write. Because at the end, I sent this manuscript to two publishers. They said that it will not work in this India, because the story is not set in India. The characters are all from outside LA and all. So I asked them, can you change the script, like make the characters Indian? Then they three stood together. We're not going to do it. So this is something I felt that wow, like they can stand now as a team with each other. So they are ready for part two. So now I have asked them to be ready with this after the in this during this sessions break after grade 7. Be ready with the part 2. Now they are asking that should we continue with Land of Mourns part 2? I said it's up to you. I will not interfere. I will not say that you go with Indian setting. I will not say anything. It's your book. Write it your way.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would just like to say that it was proof of authors' immense potential and to captivate audiences with their storytelling. It reminded me of Alice in Wonderland, where Alice, a young girl, falls into a meadow and dreams that she follows the rabbit down a rabbit hole. You know, it is something like a magical story. It goes on, and the readers are waiting for what's going to happen next. The authors have that capacity to hold the attention of the readers. And the three great students have written an amazing novella. The plot of the story is so well spun, intense, and has powerful visual imagery. You know, absolutely as if we can see everything. The moment they say, Patricius, he vanishes. That's amazing. According to this age, it is a remarkable feat, and I wish them all success in future endeavors. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sneha, for guiding them in a wonderful way and for such a stunning novel that the three children have brought out. And Garima ma'am, thank you too for mentoring always. Thank you, Prasanna sir, for launching this program of young talent. Now, if anyone has any questions, please come forward because we still have some time. I think we can discuss something.
I would like to ask, Pahael and Mahashree and Lakshita, what are the particular character that if I would, if I ask, which would you like? I mean, which particular character you would like? Each one of you.
Sir, I liked Blair. I liked Blair, Valerie. I liked how she turns from that troublesome girl to that brave and humble person.
Okay. Mahashree?
So, I personally liked Blair very much, but also her mother, who was very much caring, and she cared for a child even after. So, and how she cared for her, she stood for her, and even Blair was really very strong, and I liked the change that came with time. But I would say that Blair's mother was Maleficent was like really much touching as a character for me.
Pahael?
I, even though she's the villain, I think my favorite character is Glinda, because most people won't like her as she plays the bad guy's role. But I think like in the end, she's well, in the end, we see that she actually is a good person who was just seeking revenge and was um not in the right mind when she turned bad. So
And also have this what do you call that? I was really what do you call? I mean, like when I gone through these chapters, like first night and love at first sight. I mean, don't you think being too? I mean, it's like just too. I mean, it's like I don't know. I felt it's too mature kind of. Kind. What
I
about
was shocked. I was
Dr.
shocked.
Gargi ma'am? What do you think about that? Because I felt like those two chapters that Garima ma'am. How would you? What is your opinion on that?
I think once I start reading a book, I don't want to remember that it's written by a child. I just want to enjoy the flow of the book. So if the way the story is flowing, if it is required and the children have put it in, I just commend them that it's fantastic that they are able to stretch themselves. But once, Prasanna sir, once your questions are done, even I want to ask a question to these young authors.
Yes, please go ahead, Garima ma'am. You can ask them questions.
I wanted to ask all three of you, like, what is your takeaway? Like for the reader of the story, there are wonderful takeaways like hard work, for example, like she worked so hard to train herself and all that. So there are takeaways for the reader. But I'm asking that this whole journey of, creating a novel, what would you like to share that you learned because of that?
I learned that facing many troubles on your way to your aim will only make you stronger. Just like there faced so many troubles till she reached her mother Maleficent, which only made her stronger and made it a bit. It helped her. It somewhat helped her in training.
Roopali ma'am, do you have some questions for the young authors?
No, I don't have really a question except that, I think when you write a fantasy or, when there is magic and mystery, does it, it allows the imagination, to go into realms where you're really creative. Because, if you look at our mythologies, they're all in the realm of imagination. They don't exist in real life, and you can do so much with characters who are out there, the Superman, the Superwoman, the incredible things that keep happening, the mystery and the magic. So I think, they have chosen the right genre to write also, because it'll take a long time, for us to even come to terms with writing with what we call reality. This is the other reality. This is the reality in which our dreams happen. This is the reality when we are sleeping. We travel to these places. So I think that the children have chosen also the right kind of. But I will never stop marveling at the fact that three of them wrote a story together. I'll never stop marveling. I mean, that is the magic of the book, and a mystery, and a mystery. I can only congratulate you all.
Absolutely. Writing a book at such a young age is really a magic, and that's a mystery. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
Diya,
generation is different. This
yes,
generation is they are our saviors. They are the ones who are going to make a difference to this world. We messed up the world. My generation has really messed up the world. You people have gone ahead and done more messing up, but I think they're going to put everything right.
Sneha ma'am, I would just like to ask you something about the book.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you choose like, Dad, you have ruined my birthday? Why was it started in that way? She was very proud and she didn't like the birthday. Why was it like that? It could have been in some other way also. Why did you give special importance to birthday? Like,
I did not choose anything, Gargi ma'am. The book is there, the idea is there. I was just supervising the timetable, and I was strict with the writing part that you have to complete this today. So if you have not done, then I am like, I'll complain to your mother. So I had that support from the parents also. So it was our work to make them work. So this is what we did. Yeah.
okay.
And that yes, this love at first sight part was like really shocking for me also, but then I understood that yes, these kids are going through this period, and I then ordered for Pahael this Colin Hoover, I guess, yes, Pahael, and Romeo and Juliet, and she read them all. Now she is like she loves the books, the romantic one. They watch the K drama, the romantic one, and I will sit there doing my computer work, and I feel my old days coming back. I say, oh my God, it's so beautiful. Just I can remember that I used to watch this Kasauti Zindagi Ki. Only that was there at that time, and nothing else was there. On TV also there was nothing else, and I remember only that Komalika and the Anurag and Prerna, and while watching this K drama, that they are watching all the romantic scenes and they are reading. Then I am like, wow, like they are so grown up that they can write love at first sight. I thought they were little, and they grew up as the novel became the reality or it progressed. They also grew up, I think, from child to girls, like mature girls.
Absolutely. They are very mature girls, and their imagination is also very powerful because the way they wrote the scenes in which the Blair takes William in the forest they run through. That is very, very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So I'll not say whose idea it was because they told me, ma'am, please don't say, otherwise everybody will judge us. I'll say, no, it's your novel, it's your collective work. Nobody's going to judge you.
Are they reading Nancy Drew or Hardy Boys, Sneha?
Yes.
Are they reading Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys? These books, do they read? These guys?
No,
children?
no, they are not. Nowadays, I don't see them reading all these books. They read other like. I see them reading Colin Hoover and Mahashree particularly. There is one set of books he enjoys from Durjoy Datta, I think. Mahashree.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Some of his books are really nice to read.
Yes. And Lakshita, I think Lakshita, you enjoy which one? The Good and the Evil, School of Good and the Evil, and the Harry Potter one. All the fantasies. This is the characters are all Lakshita's creation.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you.
The 2 chapters, that love in first sight, that was kind of all our the 3 of us. We joined our imagination, and that's how we created that part. Like,
but that's totally it's as if an adult has written that chapter because the scenes which they have written, one cannot believe that 3 young girls can write those scenes. I mean, that chapter.
I got such ideas from watching the Harry Potter movies, like after the 4th book. After
You
the
have
4th
experiences. Okay, anyway, it was wonderful. Thank you, Prasanna sir, for holding this book launch by 3 young authors. Thank you, Sneha ma'am, Roopali ma'am, Garima ma'am, Diya. Thank you so much. I wish all the kids a wonderful future. Hope to read more of your books.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Lots of blessings. Lots of blessings.
Blessings and love to you all, especially the small authors, young authors.
And don't forget to buy this book. It's available on Amazon, my dear friends. Yeah, please hold your book and yeah, Amazon or yeah. Please grab the book.